Hi, welcome to today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. We open with Hope on Steffi's couch looking broken and remembering Douglas leaving. She then decides to text Thomas to let him know that Douglas is there. Steffi reminds her that it's just temporary. She needs to relax. Steffi tells her that he believes Douglas did it to avoid hurting her and Thomas. Says soon Douglas will realize that it isn't his home. Steffi thanks her for loving Douglas the way that she do and being his protector. And she tells Hope to find comfort in knowing that she will protect Douglas too. Promises Hope that she will look out for Thomas and be very cautious with Thomas. While Thomas is at Forster telling Eric that Douglas has moved in. And Thomas tells Eric that he's okay with it because he'll get to see Douglas whenever he wants. While Brooke and Taylor are having lunch at El Giardino. Brooke tells Taylor that Hope is hurting. Taylor says she feels for Hope and her mama heart. Brooke is surprised that Taylor is consoling her and feeling for her daughter. She's happy they're friends and not rivals. We see Douglas tells Hope and Liam bye. They give Douglas a hug. Eric believes that Thomas needs to call Steffi and check in before he stops by. Thomas says he doesn't need permission to see his son. Deacon is surprised to see Taylor and Brooke actually getting along and says the Cold War is over. Taylor and Brooke joke about having a lot more in common besides Rich. Brooke lets Deacon know that Hope is in a bad space because Douglas chose to live with Steffi. Hope and Liam return home and Hope says she misses Douglas already. The house feels empty. Douglas tells Steffi that it may be a lot that he's asking, but he feels at home at Steffi's. He tells Finn how much he loves his aunt Steffi. Douglas tells him that it was so much of a tug of war between his mom and his dad on who to live with. Says it's better for them and him to live with Steffi. He says to Finn and Steffi hope they understand. Steffi and Finn are shocked by what he's saying. Finn tells him he's always welcome there and they're all family. Here comes Thomas barging in. Steffi asks what he's doing there. Thomas says his son lives there now, so basically he does too. Deacon finds it odd that Taylor and and Brooke are sticking together. Steffi Hope is worried that Douglas living at Steffi's will make Thomas think he has an advantage. Steffi tells Thomas to give Douglas time to adjust. Steffi explains that she's trying to make the day as stress-free as possible for Douglas. Thomas asks if she thinks he would stress him out. Thomas tells Steffi he thinks he gets to see his son whenever he wants. Steffi says no. That's not how it's gonna be. Thomas asks if she's going to keep him away from his son. Liam assures Hope that Steffi will keep Douglas away from Thomas. Steffi tells Thomas she is setting boundaries, all because he screwed up. He says there are consequences to all his actions. Thomas apologizes for his mistakes and says the best thing is for him and Douglas to spend time together. Steffi tells Thomas to be patient and trust that she's doing everything in her power to make Douglas feel at home, happy and safe. Steffi says she has to protect Douglas from Thomas. She tells Thomas to go work through his issues. Thomas claims that he has apologized over and over again. Thomas accuses Steffi of CEOing his life just like at work. Finn walks in and says, "You're not going to speak to my wife like that." Thomas tells Finn that the conversation is between him and his sister, and Finn says, "You don't get to barge into my house and do that." He tells Thomas to learn, understand, and respect that. And Finn tells him it's best he leaves. Thomas threatens him and says he won't allow her or Finn to keep him away from his son.